Sela, welcome to the pod. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
What's up, Sela? How are you? You good?
Good.
Yeah, thanks for agreeing to join us, and thanks for agreeing to be the first sort of non-famous athlete, but I guess from a social media following, one of the highest in terms of your social media. We're going to get to that in a second. So for everybody that doesn't know you, want to do a quick intro into, what you do, who you are, quick overview, 30 seconds. Let's go.
Sure. Well, I do want to say I did play tennis and I still do play tennis. So
yes, we know that.
To connect the dots there. But I am a model and an influencer. And I also own a small business where I do influencer marketing. So pretty much all things influencer marketing, social media.
Yeah,
perfect.
Cool, exactly. We're going to break that down in a second. So the reason why I wanted to get you on this pod or on our podcast is because I've obviously known you for a long time. I saw when you started tennis with my friend Raphael, and your family's sort of not a big tennis player. They're all part of the country club where Raphael used to coach, and you started it. How old were you when you started? Like 6, 7? I remember.
I remember playing with those rackets that make the funny noise.
Okay, yeah.
Like my mom was trying to get us into tennis. Probably like 5.
Okay, yeah, it was. I remember. But
like, boy, we'd be like, this is so fun.
You were always the loudest of the family, that's for sure. And
yeah,
your favorite, you used to come and do. I remember that's why I sent that photo to you. You used to come and do Hannah Montana skits on. That's how me and Raph used to call you Hannah Montana when you were that young. But let's start. So you're originally from Alabama. Down south. To say a few things probably, because what I love about seeing your Instagram, and I'm watching I don't follow actually any fitness or any influence or fitness models, but what I like about yours is yours cracks me up because you're very, let's say, truthful about your days, your good days and your bad days. Incredibly hard worker from what I'm seeing. So from the morning when you get up, when you're posting stuff in terms of like your workouts, they look brutal, and then your eating habits, the diet, you're watching everything, and you're taking us through this journey. And I know for sure that you come from a very hardworking family. So your dad has that car dealership. He's very well known for hard work. Your sister's a hard worker. She's got her own business, right? Doing something with wedding events as well, right?
Yeah.
And she also works in the company. So let's talk about your work ethic first. Is that sort of, you grew up in that environment where everyone just works hard, or is that something that you learned? How was that for you?
Whether this is a good or a bad thing, which it's probably both, we were definitely taught, like, you can't be lazy. Like, you can't sit around. You can't, I remember, having to ask to watch TV, while I ate or something. Like, we couldn't just watch TV, you know what I mean? Like, we had to always be doing stuff. And I've had to, learn as an adult that it's okay to take a break. That's, actually, I have the opposite problem of, learning, to this day with working out, you need to take a rest day, but I really have to tell myself, you really have to do this because it's going to make you better in the long term.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. Our family was always go, 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 go. Me and my sister were just talking on the phone last night about how crazy our family is. We need to stop sometimes,
No, I mean, look, you've got a very, I had a chance to meet your mom, Pam, and your dad. They're definitely very grounded people, nice people. But there was always a bit of, you could always see there was that sort of hardworking edge to them, right? They're always doing that,
Oh, you go.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about you played tennis at a decent level. You said you were the best in the family. I mean, this is going out now, so they're going to watch this. So you want to repeat that again?
Yeah, definitely. I am the best tennis player in the family.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's a good claim. And then you played high school tennis, and then you were thinking about doing some college tennis. But so tell me how you got into becoming a fitness, or just getting to fitness in general. Did it come first? I want to be a fitness model, or did you just get fit and realize I can do this as a profession?
It went from, actually, I would say most of my life, like I lost 30 pounds in the last year and a half. So I was not always fit. So I I started dating this guy who was like a bodybuilder, right? And he was like, oh, like you should do this, this, this. And then I was like, oh, and it started working. And then after that, I just like really took it in my own hands and like just started going crazy with it. Like all the macros and like learning the stuff and lifting. And then, yeah, like I felt like for my career, my body always held me back. I used to be a curve model. I used to be like an 8 or 10. So I used to be like 160 pounds. And it would hold me back from getting jobs because like the body was not there, but the face was. And so finally I was just like, do you want to be the best? Do you want to be the 1%? Like, then you've got to work harder than everybody else. Yeah. And so I just started going like crazy with it. And yeah, that's where I am now.
So you were modeling prior, and then you said, okay, if I need to take the next step, I need to, there's always, and this wasn't on our list to talk about, but it's an interesting question. The modeling industry is pretty well documented in terms of like, for girls to make it there or do something, they need to really watch what they eat. But do you see the negative side effects of that, or you only as part of the positive side of that story or that narrative?
I mean, my diet is more like a bodybuilder diet. So I eat a ton of food. Like most likely I eat more than both of you guys. So, of course I don't really struggle with that, but, I would say just yesterday I was talking to a model here that is way like more successful than I am. Like she's like got way more followers and she works more jobs. And she was like, yeah, like all my friends have developed eating disorders. So that's definitely a common theme, but you can do it the right way. Like I do it, but it's just going to be a lot harder.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
so
Okay.
yeah, it's common. I mean, I struggle myself with, you know, the pressure to be perfect. You know, I was crying in bed the other night to my friend, just like, it's so hard, you know, like to watch people, you know, eating what they eat and like, they'll be like, oh, this one brownie won't hurt you. And I'm like, you understand, like that one brownie is going to show up somewhere on this body. Like, do you not understand? Like, you know what I mean? So, you know,
your body is your main vehicle of income, right? That's how you see it?
Right.
Like, okay. Yeah.
And I have to remind people that because they'll be like, oh my God, like, you know, you can eat this, or like, oh, don't be like that and towards yourself. Like, I'm sure this piece of cake isn't going to do anything. Like, you're so skinny. I'm like, this isn't genetics. Do you really think this is genetics? Like, what? Like, I've lost 30 pounds. Like, yes, that will show up, honey. And I have to be like, my looks is my income. Like, then sometimes people will respect that, but like, it's difficult to go out and about sometimes because people like think you're crazy.
When you're working with such fine margins and, you know, you have to be that dedicated in terms of what you're putting into your body, how much do you training? You know, I mean, what's your normal day looking like in terms of when you're not on a shoot, you're just kind of looking after yourself?
Oh my God. I've just been waiting for you guys to ask me this question. I love to talk about my regimen. Okay. Okay, here we go. Ready? A day in the life.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wake up, I have black coffee, I have some BCAAs with, is it L-carnitine? Yeah, L-carnitine, just a little bit. And then I do fasted cardio immediately. And I'm supposed to do it 5 days a week, but sometimes I do it like 6 to 7 days a week. And then after that, I have this, which is like greens and apple cider vinegar. The greens are good for you. Apple cider vinegar makes you apple cider vinegar cures everything. So you just need it. And then after that, all my meals are like measured, like 30 grams of oatmeal, like, 3 ounces of egg whites, spinach, blah, blah, blah. And then after meal 2 or 3, depending on the day, I go and lift 2 to 3 times with a trainer. That like makes me lift so much. But if I'm not lifting with her, I'm lifting at home. And then I probably have 2 more meals. I have at least 5 to 6 meals a day. And then go to sleep. Maybe see someone in there.
Yeah. So you're kind of training at least twice a day and 5 or 6 times a day?
Yes.
Wow.
And on shoot days, those are actually the hardest because you have to like wake up, do the cardio, and then like either not eat or eat like egg whites with like nothing on them, which actually tastes really fine. I just want to let you guys know it's actually not that nasty.
I don't think I can do that.
And then drink like 7 cups of black coffee. And then, those days are not like the best, but yeah.
Well, I can see what you mean about recovery, slowing down. I mean, if you're doing that all the time, you will have to take time off.
Yeah, go take a break, Sela, yeah? Please. You're already
I know. I had an off day. I took a rest day Sunday, and I think I'm going to do that this Sunday. So it does happen. The discipline to do that, right? That's what's impressive. The discipline. Thank you.
No, but it is, because that's basically working out. Like for me, working out's fun. If I have to then add the diet to it,
yeah, that's where you fall short.
No, but like if I really, and it's impressive because the thing is the social element.
Oliver, right? You better tell them.
No, but it's a social element. It's a social element. I mean, like even now, like I only eat 1 meal a day so at lunch and stuff like that. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I just eat once because I don't work out that much,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I only eat 1 meal a day, but I eat whatever I want because I don't have the discipline to then go through and pick out greens and stuff like that. But for you, it's like you said, it's sort of it's not hard for you to do it personally. It's when you go out into the open parties, your cat back in.
He's back in the shot.
Is it hard for you? That's the hard part, right? Managing it with your friends' expectations. Not all your friends are fitness models, right? And
yeah, it's so funny, and part of me wants to do this whole video on it, but only so many people would even be able to relate to that. I feel like people would be like, okay, bitch, we get it. You're skinny and fit. Oh, my life is so hard. But it's insane the amount of crap I get for living a really healthy, dedicated lifestyle. Even amongst people that are healthy, and I think it's a lot of people are insecure about what they're doing. Maybe they're eating a cheeseburger every day. So they'll be sitting there and I'll be like, oh, actually I can't have that, avocado. And they're like, avocado is healthy. It's so healthy. Why can't you have it? And I'm just like, okay, do you want me to break it down for you? Avocado has this many fats. It's this many calories. I've already had my designated fats for the day. Blah, blah, you know what I mean? People, yeah. And it's just I'm not saying that you eating that avocado is unhealthy, bro. I'm just saying it doesn't work for me right now at 10 o'clock at night. I'm not going to eat a whole avocado. I'm just not gonna, you know what I mean? And people, I've noticed it's not so much that people judge you for being healthy. It's just I think people feel insecure about oh my God, if she's not eating this avocado, then should I be eating it? What's wrong with avocado? And I'm just oh God, I eat avocado. I just don't want to eat avocado right now.
Yeah. I guess it's tough. I think for people listening, I think as well, when I see it now, we're working with a player who has to really watch his diet. And we're posting some stuff on Instagram. He's lost, I think, something crazy, 10 kilograms in the last 6 weeks, and just changing his diet. But I told him he has to have people around him, or when he goes out and eats, to understand what he's doing. Because then, if he's around an environment where there's people smashing burgers and everything like that, he has to be really disciplined, or people need to accept that that's what, and try and encourage him. And I think that's probably a tough thing when you're out there on your own trying to do this fitness model thing, unless you want to hang out with all other fitness models, which I guess you just don't want to do that either, right?
Right. I think I don't mind if someone eats something bad in front of me. Like I've had some people be like, I'm going to go like eat in the other room. And I'm just like, oh my God, if it was that hard for me, I don't think I would do it. Like, my God. Like, it's not that hard.
You mentioned that you said at the start, your body is your main income, right? So having a perfect body is what drives you, or is your vehicle for income. Do you think then people judge you not because, you know, you have a good body is one thing, and then obviously the intelligence, you've been to college, etc. You went to Auburn, right? Or where did you go to? Where did you go to?
What if I was like, no, I didn't go to school.
No, you went though, right? Didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I went to SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design.
Yeah, exactly. So, do you think people then sort of misjudge you, or like are quick to judge a book by its cover and say, "Oh, she's a fitness model, she has no brains"? Do you get that a lot, or does it, you know, do you care about that stigma or not at all?
That's hilarious to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess, yeah, something like that. People often think I'm gonna be like really mean. People think I'm gonna be like a mean person, or they're like, wow, you're really like down to earth. And I'm just like, man, that is true though. I hate to say it, but like most attractive people, like is not really like that all the time. At least in my industry. So I get it. I think we just like automatically assume really attractive people are kind of like gonna be idiots or like really mean or something like that. So yeah, I guess so, and I guess I do that to other people as well. So
but I think it's really interesting in terms of stigma on the whole, because from what you've just said to us, your regime is not too dissimilar from an athlete. The only difference is your body is using it in a different output.
mm-hmm.
You know? And I think it's so easy to dismiss that whole thing. Oh, she's a fitness model, or he's a fitness model. You know, that's all they do. And it's like, well, actually, it's much harder. Like if you had the dedication, you could probably do it if you wanted to.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
You
don't. They can be dedicated to it. Exactly. I mean, that is true. I mean, and what's an athlete doing is training his body or their body in order to perform on the field. You're just doing it to perform, I guess, you know, for either a modeling shoot or Instagram. But from your perspective on that, if we move into that section now, and the cat's loving the limelight, the famous cat, you know, it's a celebrity cat. What would you say the balance is between actual shoots for modeling agencies, or, you know, like that, and things that you do on your own? You said you have a few Instagram pages. You want to talk about like how you break that down for yourself in terms of income?
Well, modeling is so hit or miss. It's just like acting, you know what I mean? Like, I went into an agency down here and I'm just like pepping myself up, like, you're going to get it, you're going to get signed, like, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, it was a no. And like, it's stuff like that all the time, you know, it's a lot of rejection. But the jobs you do book are like really substantial amounts of money, you know? Yeah. And then with influencer marketing, it's just like I am an influencer. So with companies like being like, hey, we want you to promote this product, we'll pay you this much, like that is more of a consistent income. Like, you know, doing 1 or 2 of those a week, like pays the bills easily, you know? And then modeling is just kind of like, you can't really like base a whole lot off of that because it's just hit or miss. So I guess I would say influencer marketing is like half of the income. And then the other half would probably be like my business doing influencer marketing, as in I work for a supplement company and I handle all their influencer marketing, all their social media, all their posts, all their giveaways, that stuff. And then modeling is just like the icing on the cake. Like when something comes, great, but like I definitely cannot rely on that because it's just, you know, it's like maybe you'll work 3 jobs in 1 month and then maybe you won't get anything for like 2 months. So it's just really hit or miss.
That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't
Well, I
know
mean,
that.
it's good to have that flexibility, obviously, with what we're all going through now in a lockdown pandemic. You know,
Right.
if you're stuck inside for 6 months, you know that actually you still have a following that you're communicating with on a daily basis, and you can give them the info for certain products that you actually believe in.
Yeah. I would say like things, in my opinion, being in this industry, things are moving away from so much like modeling where you have to be like this and look like this and do this, and like more into like companies being like, actually we want to like give product to like content creators that like have a real identity and like a real soul and a real like personality, and get them to create content and put it out there, versus let's, you know, hire this model for this photo shoot that, you know, looks like this unattainable like, you know, goal or whatever. Like I think things are moving more into like influencer marketing is like the way.
Because people
For
can
sure.
relate, right, to the brand, to yourself, who's selling the brand.
Right.
That's the real thing, yeah.
But on the brand side as well, you know, they're getting much more impact for their money. So it makes sense that it's going to move that way.
Mm-hmm.
If you could choose, what would you rather do? Do you have a choice right now where you'd like to focus on? If all things were the same and everything was paying the same amount of money, what would you rather be doing?
Yeah. I think I would probably just do influencer marketing.
Yeah.
Because shooting, like sometimes when you go to shoots, like it can be, like I said, it can be like a toll. And then also you could, like most high paying, big, legitimate photo shoots, like you're on set a minimum of like 8 hours. And then you might be shooting sometimes for like weeks, you know, it's almost like a movie set or something. So sometimes that's a lot. So I guess in a perfect world, I would be just a full-time influencer so that I could create my own content whenever, however I want, in the comfort of my own home.
Yeah.
One of the things I mentioned earlier is what I laugh at when I watch your stories, because you do post some really funny stuff, and you like to also post stuff where you post a really nice shot, which I always laugh, and then you post the outtake shot, which is like a horrendous shot, you know?
Yeah.
And then you also got, you've seen I've seen bits of you crying, talking to your people about, you know, the stuff you do with your skin and everything like that. But I think, you know,
You
that's
cry a lot.
yeah, exactly. I was like, wow, I thought like, no, she's really crying. She's getting into it. But
You're like, is she okay? I got like so many responses, and people are like, you know, like, I'm here if you ever need to talk. And I was like, I'm really fine. It's just like, I'm not going to pretend all the time that everything's perfect. It's not. Like,
that's what's good about the content that you post, because it's real. That's what I said. Like, I don't follow fitness models, Instagram influencers, but I wouldn't imagine that they actually talk about the realities of their day. And so is that what you wanted to do personally? Because I can't imagine many people doing that and telling their followers, hey, this is the reality. All that glamorous stuff is not the real life. It's the other stuff outside of it. Is that the message you want to send from your content? Or
yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely like to be like, hey, I'm pretty, like look at what I've worked for, look at like what I'm doing. Like, I'm very goal oriented. So I love to be like, look, I got this like place, I made it. Like, you know, I came from a town with one stoplight, and I don't know if you know this, but I was bullied so much I had to change schools from Faith Christian.
really?
And yeah, like everyone hated me. And so like in a way, you know, it's like, I made it. What's up? You know what I mean? Like, who's the weird black girl now? You know what I'm saying? Like, meow meow. Like, I'm in Miami, but like the other half is like, I know when I was young, I was looking at all the girls that are doing what I do now. Like, I remember being on Instagram when I was in high school, and I was just like, why can't I look like that? Why can't I be like that? Why can't I like be modeling in Miami? Why can't, like, you know what I mean? Why doesn't my stomach look like that? Why doesn't, like, you know, and like, I do want to make it known, like, hey, I don't look like this because I just woke up like this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I like to keep it real with people. Like, this shit is hard. Like, it is. And, like, I think it's worth it, but like, it's really hard. And like, also, yeah, I just think that people just like all these models, and even I was just, like I said, I was talking to this model the other day that's way more successful than I am. And she's like telling me like, oh my God, it's so hard for me to maintain this size. And I'm just like, really? I'm like, that's shocking, because I'm just like, you look so perfect and like flawless. And I just thought like, oh, that's just like genetics or whatever. And she's like, no, it's so hard for me. And I was like, you should really talk to your followers about this. I mean, this girl has like over 100,000 followers. And if I'm sitting there looking at her, knowing what it takes, still thinking that, you know, she just woke up like this and blah, 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 like, best believe everybody else is thinking that too. Like, they're just thinking that it doesn't take any effort or, you know, sacrifice or whatever. And anyways, I don't know. It's a delicate balance of like still caring and putting in a lot of effort to look my best and make money, but also telling people like, don't be fooled by this shit. Okay. There's like pros and cons that come with everything. And if, you know, you want to like eat cheeseburgers and stuff like that, honestly, you're probably gonna be happy. Like, you're gonna be happy in a lot of ways, but you may have to sacrifice the way you look. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just like I'm gonna have to sacrifice all the times that like I can't eat that, but the benefit is to make money in this way and do this and this and this. So like, I guess it's more about just keeping it real with them about like what's really going on behind the scenes. But at the same time, like in a way, I'm sitting here like promoting like, you know, looking your best and losing weight and stuff like that. So it's a delicate balance, because you also don't want to be that person that's like telling the masses like, oh, you need to be skinny and you need to be fit. Like, you don't need to be, and you don't have to be.
Yeah.
But if you're going to, here's what comes with it.
Yeah. No, but I think it's good. It's a reality check for, it's like for an athlete where you say, hey, if you want to reach the top, it's not like all, you know, big stadiums. It's about what you do in the hours when no one's watching, right? And that's where it always counted. So yeah, for me, I think it's a great message that you're sending out to your followers. I wish more people would do that, because when you look online in general, you only see, you know, the glam, the bling, the success, and no one actually sees the hard work behind the scenes. So I encourage more people who have, if anyone listens to this, to really try and do what you're doing in terms of showcasing and highlighting the reality of it, because it's important for people to see.
Thank you.
That type of content is out there, you know, especially someone like you. People want that hard journey. They want to see it. They whether they take inspiration and they go on that journey themselves, but we're still kind of in this strange world where actually that is entertainment for us. You know, seeing these stories, seeing these, you know, these amazing highs and you know, lows as well, like, because we all go through it, don't we? But that again, that's part of being an influencer.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just always showing the good times. It's, you know, saying, okay, I'm in a bad time. How am I going to deal with it? You know, how can I motivate myself to then actually knock on someone else's door and say, right, this is how you can motivate yourself.
I think there's like a lot of people out there that are talking about, oh, like it takes dedication, but I don't know. I think there's this like facade of like, yeah, you work hard and then like, you know, you get what you want in life, da 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 da. And I feel like just recently I realized like it doesn't always work like that. Sometimes it's a lot of like bad times, no, yes, no. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not this like pretty little journey like, oh my God, I moved to Miami and like pursued my life as a model and now I'm making it. Like, it's like, no, like a lot of freaking shit happens between like that decision and like getting where you want to go. And I think like a lot of people, it makes me feel vulnerable to talk about that like online. Like there's definitely times where I want to talk about it more, but I feel like, you know, you don't want to be like weak and you don't want to be like that real, but like shit's been hard, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like you don't, like I just packed up my car and moved down here and I don't know anyone, you know, I don't know a single soul. So like, yeah, anyways, just trying to keep it real.
If anybody's in Miami and wants to hang out with Sela, you can get in touch with her on Instagram. She needs friends. Quick ASAP.
I just saw a quote the other day that I think kind of rings true to what you just said. And, you know, being able to show your vulnerable side is actually a sign of confidence. And I think if you can, you know, whoever it is, be able to show vulnerability, people will listen to that.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you more endearing to people as well when you show that there is a side that you understand. But look, you know, for Sela, for you, I want to finish up with one question. So let's go 5 years from now, Sela Bay. So when we do a recap and we do it in the studio, because our podcast has exploded after this one, we could do it like a model shoot, like you'd be used to it. Where are you going to be? Where is Sela Bay Miles going to be 5 years? What do you hope for? You know, what is your ultimate?
That's so scary because I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be watching this in 5 years. Like, where am I going to be? Oh God. Okay. I feel like I'm going to be back in like Atlanta because that's where my heart is.
Mm-hmm.
And my tiny home is going to be finished. I bought a tiny home.
Okay, nice.
So I'm going to be doing something interesting with that. Maybe I'm living in it. We don't know, but something's going on with that. And maybe I'll have 2 cats instead of 1. And I think by then I'll have achieved everything I want to with modeling pretty much. And be on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. I pretty much back you to get there. And we'll be following the journey for the next 5 years on your Instagram to see where it is.
Yay!
But I'd love to thank you for coming on, Sela, and sharing this with us. It's really nice. It's a different perspective for us. But what I loved about it, and I think Oli and me will chat to about afterwards, is that it doesn't matter what walk of life, success is trying to achieve success in whatever walk sounds very, very similar, whether it's a pro tennis player who had a snooker world champion or yourself, everyone repeats the same thing. It's small things done well every single day that accumulate to have success. And I think, you know, you've really driven that message home for us. So I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.
No worries.
Thank you so much for your time.